Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So happy Friday. Today we have something big coming up. We have to talk about it. And of course, we have to talk about Bitcoin and how it's on a brink of a major rally. Yes, get ready for that. All right, let's do it. Welcome, guys. We're starting out the day pretty good. We've been slowly trending up for this past week, actually the past 2 weeks. So now we are above 61,000 right now. That's not bad. Still trending upwards. Or we go break to this 63.7 and after that 67 and after that 70,000, right? Today we may have a huge catalyst. And what is that catalyst? Well, the US market is opening up in the, well, no, that's Europe. US market is opening up way in the green, NASDAQ especially. That's good. But everyone is waiting for this person right here, Powell, Fed Chair Powell. In about approximately 30 minutes, he is going to give a speech at Jackson Hole, and he's going to share his insight on how he thinks the economy is and what he may do. But keep in mind, it's not a FOMC meeting. He can't be making declarations. He can't be saying anything for sure without all the other Fed governors and presidents, getting together and stuff. This is just his opinion. And he's been very, very careful making remarks because obviously he knows the impact he'll have. I mean, just one false slip of anything that indicates a less than expected move, I guess, with the rate cuts can send markets crashing, right? People are expecting a rate cut next month. So we'll see. Right now, the prediction has updated. So 71% for 25 basis point, 28.5%, 50 basis point. That could shift drastically after today. Okay, depending on, again, how hawkish or dovish he is, we could shift to 100% to 25% basis point or maybe like 50-50, right? That's what we want to happen. We want him to be dovish as possible. All right, so that's the big event. Right? Obviously, that's the huge thing that's coming up. So we'll see what he says. Now, as for everything else, of course, we still have some great, tremendous things happening in this space. All right? Bitcoin does not need Powell. I don't want you guys to think that, oh, Bitcoin is dependent on what the Fed does. No. It's just a catalyst. Obviously, with a blooming U.S. economy, it's going to help Bitcoin, right? It's going to help it move a little faster. And same thing, when the global liquidity flows everywhere, it's going to help Bitcoin because Bitcoin is, of course, the greatest asset that we have. And when people have excess cash, what do? They invest in assets. But, regardless, Bitcoin was created because of distrust in the Fed and central banks and governments, right? So it's not like we need Fed Chair Powell for anything. But I'm just saying, I just bring it up because, hey, today could be a very good day. Could be a very good day. Or it could be a very bad day, but I don't think so. It could be a nothing burger day too. As for ETFs, we had a pretty positive inflow yesterday, especially for BlackRock. So if you look at it, 65 million inflow overall. BlackRock at the very left took about 75 million themselves. And again, they just keep on accumulating some more. So if you understand Bitcoin, if you truly understand Bitcoin and realize how great the network is, how great of a store value it is, and why we all need to load up because of distrust in governments, right? Once you come to the realization of those things, then you would just load up forever. Then you become a lifelong hodler and DCAer. And That's what BlackRock is doing right now. That's what Larry Fink is doing. You notice there's no reds on the left column. 0 reds. No outflows, only inflow. And he's a very latecomer, obviously in this space, but BlackRock is the 3rd largest Bitcoin holder in existence already in 7 months. It's kind of scary if you think about it. 7 months, 3rd largest holder in history. That is a tremendous amount. You just do the math. Okay. What about another 7 months? What about 7 years? How much are they going to hold? It's actually kind of scary if you think about it. It's really scary if you think about it. So that's what we need to accumulate. And that's why so many others are accumulating, because you don't want to wait 7 years, okay, to buy Bitcoin, to buy your very first SAT. You don't want to wait that long. You want to buy it while it's still cheap, while it's under 6 figures. It will be across 6 figures soon. And I don't know if we're going to come back ever once crossing that 6-figure territory. But that's why hodling and DCAing is the way to go. Even countries like El Salvador has been doing that. 1 Bitcoin per day. Think about it. 1 Bitcoin per day is a lot. But on a grand scheme of things, you think about 1 Bitcoin per day is not that much. But look at this. Over time, they have accumulated $357 million now of Bitcoin. Such a small country, one that was dependent on the IMF and the World Bank, now no longer. Well, I don't know about that. They probably still do. They still probably owe them money. But still, that's a tremendous amount in Bitcoin for such a small country. See, they want to break the chains, right? They want to be independent. They're building a Bitcoin city. They have volcano bonds. They're all in on Bitcoin. And it has done very well for them, right? So even countries are embracing Bitcoin because they know. They know. What else? As for miners, we got 27 publicly traded miners, and this is how much they hold. A lot of Bitcoin. A lot. Mara, Marathon, Riot, HUD 8, those are the 3 biggest. CleanSpark, Hive, Cypher Mining, and it goes on and on and on and on. You add all that up, that's close to 50,000 Bitcoin right there. Probably more than that, 60,000. Quite a lot, as you guys can see. DCAing, hodling is the best strategy there is. Quite simply because when it comes to Bitcoin, it's just it's a scarcity thing. There's just not enough to go around. So now when retail investors, this was created for retail investors, but now retail investors are competing against mining companies, competing against public trade companies, competing against countries and institutions and fund managers, right? A lot of competition. Demand keeps on going up. Supply continues to plummet. This is why a rally is coming and why Bitcoin arguably has been rallying ever since day one. 14 years ago, this day, 14 years ago, you could have bought 10 Bitcoin for under $1 because at that point, Bitcoin was under 10 cents each. That was 14 years ago. Most of you guys probably remember 14 years ago like it was nothing. I remember. I still remember when the very first iPhone came out in 2007. This was afterwards. You could have bought enormous amount of Bitcoin back then. No one paid attention, but the ones that did, they're freaking billionaires right now. It's just that simple. Right? This is why you could argue that Bitcoin has been rallying ever since day one. Nothing has outperformed Bitcoin over the long haul. It's the greatest appreciating asset that we have and will probably continue to be that way forever because of the scarcity factor. Demand keeps going up. And there's only so much Bitcoin to go around. It's controlled by code. There will never be more than 21 million. no other asset out there. You look at stocks, there's no stocks. Stocks could always, there's always more of it. They could always issue more. You look at gold, you look at silver, you look at copper, palladium, platinum, you look at oil, you look at any commodities. There's always more that could be produced or found or dug out of the ground or mined from asteroids, but not Bitcoin. All right, last few things I want to share. So in terms of the current movement, I know we've been going sideways for a little bit, but again, I like to remind you guys over and over and over and over I'll keep reminding you guys until I retire, that, you know, we are moving according to how we've always moved. We have halving events, which are great. It comes every 4 years. We have sideways movements. We have dips. We have fearful moments. And then we have the parabolic stage, and that's what's next, right? That's the most fun of any cycle, and that's the one part of a cycle that you don't want to miss. If you miss everything else, even if you missed buying at bottom, you missed at buying sub 20,000, for example, okay, which you could have done last year, January last year. Believe it or not, you could have bought Bitcoin at $15,000. So even if you missed that and you missed the buying opportunities in the 20s and 30s, you may think, well, it's over, right? Why would I buy Bitcoin at 60,000? Well, you're going to be saying the same thing next year when we hit 200, 250,000, and you're going to say, well, I could have bought Bitcoin at 60,000. Even though 60,000 is way higher than 20 or 15, but still, we are moving according to plan. The parabolic phase, the major rally that you guys are looking for is coming. You just have to have patience. I'm connecting all the dots for you guys, putting it everything together, and hopefully you guys understand and you're not falling for the FUD. This is also interesting. The total stablecoin market cap is all-time high. And the only reason why stablecoins exist is for buying crypto. That's it. So if you think about how much stablecoins there are, I mean, just imagine when 100-something billion comes into the market and starts FOMOing. Just imagine the effect that's going to have. It's going to be tremendous, tremendous. So right now, I don't think anyone realizes, but we're about to close, if we close this month around where we are, 7 monthly candles above the all-time high of 2021. I know most people remember that we hit 69,000 in 2021, but that was a very, very brief stint. Okay. In fact, if you look at it, like even 64,000 in 2021, very brief. For the most part, we were stuck around our current level, around $60,000. So if you draw a horizontal line, you realize that we have been hovering above the high of last year already. We started doing that before the halving event, and that's why we've been going sideways for such a long time. We have never, ever, ever broken through a previous high this fast before. That's why I kind of screwed things up. That's why we've been going sideways for so long, and many people got discouraged. But that's only because we went up so fast. We were never supposed to hit 73,000 in March, but we got a brief preview of what a bull run, a parabolic bull run feels like. Now imagine the next year and a half of nothing but what happened in March earlier this year. That gives you a good idea of what's to come, right? And it's going to be glorious. It's going to be glorious. And the last thing I'll show you is this, another fractal pattern versus 2020 when we had that scary COVID crash. We had a scary crash recently. I guess we call it a Black Monday, where Bitcoin fell down to $49,000. Wasn't nearly as bad as COVID time when Bitcoin fell below 4,000. I still remember that day. That was not a fun day. I had to stream that day. It was not fun at all. But shortly afterwards, we recovered. But even then, we stood at $10,000 for nearly a year. We went sideways, hovering under 10,000 for a year before we shot up from that 10,000 mark to 69,000 eventually in 2021. That's how things go with Bitcoin. So if you think we're bearish now at $60,000, you didn't live through 2020 when Bitcoin couldn't even break through $10,000. We're roughly 6x higher just 3 years later, right? So imagine how foolish you'll feel if you miss what's coming up. That's going to drive Bitcoin to six figures and well into the six-figure territory, right? Just like 2021. All right, last few things I think that are pretty bullish, I think. Russia is rumored to come out with 2 exchanges and their own stablecoins that are backed by the yuan and probably the ruble. So again, will the USD continue to be a global reserve currency? For now, yes, but other countries are starting to make moves. So our government in the US better watch out. But overall, I think this will be good. You can't launch crypto exchanges without having Bitcoin there, or Ethereum, or Solana, or many others. So I think that's going to be pretty big once they launch. And lastly, no, that's it. That's all I wanted to cover. Anyway, so yeah, we're at 61,000. Pretty good. Jackson Hole thing is going to come soon. Let's do Q&A. I gotta do a quick Q&A today and wrap up and leave early. So let's do it. Let's do it. All right, let me scroll up here. Let's see if I missed anything. Space Vibe says, oops, my thing just moved all of a sudden. Space Vibe says, BlackRock is a black hole. Yeah, for Bitcoin, yes. It goes in, nothing comes out. I can't pronounce that. Thanks, George. Hodl DCA, BTC supply shock coming. That is correct. That is definitely correct. It's been happening, you could argue, since day one. Cryptarian, real gains won't come until October, November. Patience always wins. That is correct. Nothing wrong with that. 777 Tommies. How do you feel about BTC mining these days? I just did an interview for Roundtable with a miner, Griffin Miner. You know, I haven't studied the mining stocks, but if they start outperforming Bitcoin, it'll be a good alternative to load up. And plus, you know, the miners are the ones that's securing the network, that's making the network activities possible. So it's always good to be supporting miners. Watching from Indonesia, welcome. Do I own Brett? No, I do not. What is Jackson Hole? It's a city in Wyoming. It's a funny name, I guess. Jackson Hole is a place where rich people gather. I guess that's why I've never been there. What do you think about Sony launching a blockchain? I could care less. That's why I don't have it. That's why I don't have it up, Josh. Because Sony's go bankrupt soon. If we see another move similar to March, I think BTC can reach potentially 80K, then consolidate for another 100 days. I think by the end of this year, I think November, December, we're going to see a really parabolic move. Santa rally, and then also November elections. If you just look at previous charts, the real movement starts after elections, usually in November. But we do trend up before then. Healthy Mind Project. Watch you here every day in Vietnam. Thanks for all you do. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's open up a crypto strip joint. There's no need for that. Let's see. The market is doing pretty well right now. Nvidia up, MicroStrategy up, Coinbase up, Tesla up. Man, Powell better say something good. Better say something really good. It would be disastrous. He was like, nah, we're not going to have any rate cuts in September. The economy's doing fine. That would be horrible. But it's not going to happen. I think he's just going to say a whole lot of nothing like usual. Do you think a 50K portfolio will be 200K by the top of this bull run? It depends, but yes, a 4X, very, very possible. If you hold the right amount of Bitcoin and alts, you could easily do a 10X, I believe. There are a lot of alts that will blow people away in terms of their gains. You just have to have patience. There was a story on Jackson Hole on the news recently. It's crazy what it costs to live there. Interesting. I'll have to look that up. Maybe that'll be a nice place to retire to. What is your favorite meal to eat when things go parabolically green? Caviar, lobster, Kobe, Wagyu beef. No, I'm just making stuff up. I don't know, just anywhere. I tried caviar once on a plane. It was okay. It's nothing like crazy about it. You just had to get over the fact that they're like fish eggs that you're eating. Nick asked, would you ever own a private jet? I mean, no, but yes. If I somehow become a billionaire because of like the IFC or something, then sure, I'm gonna get a private jet, right? But I don't anticipate I will be a billionaire. I don't aim or strive to be a billionaire. But if it happens, then great. If not, I'm cool with just flying commercial or just flying private, but but not owning a plane. It's just ridiculous. The upkeep, the maintenance, and hangar fees and pilot fees and everything, all the other fees that you have to pay and the jet fuel and everything, it's just ridiculous. You're wasting money. Alan says, parabolic bull run, I'd be eating 2 Costco hot dogs instead of 1. That's funny. Hi, George. Do you ever look forward to making a video crypto lark? No. Can't say I've ever thought about that. learn to fly the plane. I heard all commercial planes, they fly themselves. Basically, the takeoff and landings are the only times the pilots actually do anything. Even like a few hundred feet off the ground, they hit like some auto fly button and the plane just flies. They don't do anything. It's interesting how that works. They could probably make the planes land by themselves too, but somehow they take over at the last minute to try to make it smooth. But basically those planes fly by themselves. If you're a first-time traveler solo, where would you go? It depends. If you're from Asia, then obviously you should visit America. If you're from America, I think you probably want to visit Europe first. If you're from Europe, you probably want to visit, let's say, I don't know, America. But if you travel to America and Europe, then of course you go to Asia. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. I know it's right before Jackson Hole, but I got somewhere I gotta be, so I gotta get out of here. But you know what? Stay strong, guys. Stay focused. That rally is coming, whether it's today or tomorrow or next week or next month. It is coming. So make sure you stay strong, stay focused, continue to hodl and DCA, and that is that. All right, and look forward to my crypto cruise video tomorrow morning, and then Sunday walk on Sunday, and I'll be back on Monday. Joe Lamas, I don't know what a hawker stand is. I don't know if that's like dirty or not, but maybe. All right, have a good one, guys. Take care. Oh, by the way, take a look at this.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.